I've been away a few days. I haven't got it in me to sort out the audio for this, but it sounded alright before. I've changed no settings, so hopefully it won't come out unhearable. I've spent 3 days on a psychiatric ward, but we'll get to that in another episode, I think. I don't know, see how it goes. I was waiting in A&E earlier on, before hitting the A&E zone. Exactly, I said, oh, have you got the time? Somebody said 7:30 p.m. and I was in A&E what seemed like hours, and I said, what's the time? And the guy said 7:30 p.m. I was like, that blew my mind. Well, it didn't blow my mind, that's, clearly an exaggeration. What happened to me later blew my mind. But I thought, let's figure this out. I must have just misheard the previous guy. He must have said 5:30 p.m. or 4:30 p.m. but I was sure he'd said 7:30 p.m. But then it can't have been 4:30 p.m. because that's when I left my house to go to the hospital, so that can't be right. Nor can 5:30. So whether this first guy, his watch was wrong or his phone. Well, we've had the changing of the clocks, haven't we? So maybe that's what it was. But yeah, to hear it's 7:30 p.m. and then to wait for hours and to hear 7:30 p.m. I was like, I kept the second guy was a doctor. He said, there's a clock behind you. So yeah, I turned around, I looked at the clock, and it was indeed 7:30 p.m. by that clock, which makes sense. Like, I left here at 4:30, so the second guy made sense, but because I'd had 7:30 p.m. earlier, I was like, what? And it gets much, much worse than this. What was the next thing that happened? I don't know, maybe I could just leave it at this. It's a 3-minute video, that's a bit short. I mentioned it on Twitter, but I haven't told you how I ended up in A&E in the first place. I've been trying to source free wine from associates of mine. Well, family really. To get me to an appointment that was meant to happen on Friday. Right, it's Thursday today. So I decided to go up the shop. I live alone. I couldn't get my only pair of shoes on because they're Converse trainers. So I just went up with a pair of socks on. And the pavement outside our house is prickly. It's not like slabs. It's some sort of surface, and it's prickly. So I thought, alright, I'll walk in the road where it's not prickly. So I walked up the shop in the middle of the road, narrowly. I was surprised how many cars there were, but I guess it's like rush hour, isn't it, at that time? And I was like narrowly avoiding cars because I'd been made doddery by the prickliness and intoxication. Avoided the cars, got to the shop. This is a shopkeeper I've known for 20 years. Every time I go in, he asks after my mother, and I say, yeah, she's in the nursing home, and she seems happy within herself. So I walk in to the shop and I say, very politely, in moderate tones, the tones that I'm using now, listen, I'm gonna take 6 bottles of wine, and you can either wrestle me to the ground and stop me, or you can simply call the police. And he freaked out a bit, not freaked out as in attacked me or anything. Like, he was behind the counter. I kept my distance because I thought, I'm asking for something for free. I don't want him to feel threatened. And he basically decided to call the police. So I sat down on the floor, some way away from him. And I said, if you need me to be where you can see me, that's fine. If you want me to sit behind the shelving so that you can't see me, that's fine. So he calls the police. And the police, they take a while to arrive, don't they? While I was there, and the guy's waiting for the police, the shopkeeper's agitated. He comes out from behind the counter and keeps looking outside his shop door like, where are the police? Where are the police? In the meantime, I'd had to shuffle down the shop a bit because a consumer wanted something that I was in the way of. So I scooted on my arse to get away from him so that he could get his stuff. And I stayed in the far corner of the shop all the time on my bum. I didn't stand up because I thought that might be threatening. Anyway, when this consumer came in, he looked a little bit mean, but maybe that was just because I was getting a bit frightened. Like, in my mind, I thought, has the shopkeeper called mates of his to throw me out of the shop physically, basically? But so I said to him, are you about to assault me? He was like, no mate, and he just left the shop. Police arrive. It was 2 WPCs, and I was a bit worried about that in a way, because WPCs must deal with literally violent people all the time, so they're used to it. I remained seated, and one of them found, don't know what it was, just a box to sit on, and the other one stayed to my right. I didn't raise a hand, I just kept my hands on my knees, I guess. And they asked after my welfare. I explained precisely what I was trying to do, and they said, we'll take you to hospital. And I said, all right. But they had a police van, not an ambulance, a police van, which, they're police, aren't they? So they would. So I'm in the police van. They helped me into the police van because it's a high step. Like, one of them sort of pushed me gently, not pushed me, supported me into the police van. I don't know if you've ever been in a police van. It's a tin box with 2 tin benches, but no seatbelt. And imagine, we all know, if you drive without a seatbelt, you get in trouble. Now, I'm effectively in a large square soup tin that's going over road bumps, accelerating, decelerating, and I'm just getting thrown around in there, like banging myself. I don't believe I've got any bruises, or if I have, you know, just very superficial ones. But the clanging of me, and at the same time as me clanging around, they're asking me personal details, which most of them I managed to answer truthfully, like my name, date of birth, phone number, all that. But I'm in a clanging box that's like, pardon, what'd you say? It's like bang, 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 ching, ching, bang, chong, ping, chong, bang. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't say sort of chong, should I? You know. Anyway, it seemed to take forever to get to the hospital, being shaken around in a large empty tin of soup, basically. Anyway, they got me there, and my troubles were only beginning. I don't know what day this was, like 3 or 4 days ago. Alright, that's enough for one episode. Wow, that's still only 11 minutes long. But that's episode 1. Episode 1 of episode 1 of basically trying to ask for a tab from a shopkeeper I've known for 20 years and has always asked, how's your mum and how's your dad? I'll stop there. I just can't type like this at the moment, so this is how I'm choosing to communicate. Stop recording.